brick type thing, maybe a rolled towel, maybe a, I don't know, a cushion, a book, something along those lines, something with a little bit of support maybe, just in case you need it, and a strap, or a towel, or tea towel, belt, whatever. So maybe if you think you might need some of these, if you've done a flex before and you find that you wanted to modify a lot of the poses, then grab those and see how you get on with what you've got at home. If you do want to borrow any equipment from Rise, you can do. We've been doing the rounds and delivering weights for sculpt and a few blocks and straps as well. So if you're struggling to get hold, I know prices have gone through the roof online. So if you do want to borrow stuff, just let us know and we can bring it around to you. You can pick it up. Cool. What we got going on? Chris and I are going to go and do some filming outside today. We're going to go and do some power and flex outside. Just testing out spaces for doing some classes outside. When restrictions lift a bit, we want to get out and get you guys to come and join us and do some mob takeovers of places. So yeah, we'll do a bit of yoga outside today. Try not to get sunburnt. But it has been flipping amazing this weather, hasn't it? Absolutely awesome. What else have we been up to? Rosie and I have been doing some filming for other stuff, which has been good. That'll be coming soon for you. Again, just, yeah, lots of filming really. Which is great, It means we can still do lots of yoga, which is wonderful. I hope you guys are doing plenty at home. We've got our Rise on Demand, or you can join us live. And we've got other stuff like the healthy plate coming soon, lots of recipes and food plans coming to your doorstep at the click of a button, dead easy. But yeah, all good in the hood. What else have we been up to? Oh, we've got 10 seconds to go. Alright. Hey everyone, welcome into flex number 12. Welcome everybody, welcome to flex number 12. We are going to get started today in a wide-legged child's pose. If you've not taken this sort of position before, it's knees out wide, big toes to touch. Just allows you to lengthen the spine nice and long. So we've got lots of lovely postures for you coming up, nice challenging flow. If you've not got a block or strap, it doesn't matter, we can modify anyway, but if you've got them to hand, that would be awesome. So let your forehead come down towards the ground. Ooh, I forgot to tie my hair up. The wild mane that's just got out the shower. So if you grab yourself a nice comfortable child's pose, just allowing the hips to sink down to the heels, letting the arms stretch out, so you get that lovely stretch out through the deltoids, in the shoulders, all the way along the back towards the base of the spine. So you can make this really passive to start off the class, just allowing the breath to flow in through the nose and then out through the mouth, just breathing a bit of space into the joints, a bit of space into the mind, just allowing yourself to ease gently into your practice. So well done for being here, especially if you're live and it's early morning. Super job. Loving the commitment. Just feeling those hips get a little bit heavier, working the way down towards the heels. If they're not quite there, don't worry. You can always pop a bolster between the hips and the heels there, just to give you something to press down on. So with our flex class, we start off with a warm-up, flow straight into a plank sequence, a bit of little balance work, bit of lunge, bit of hips and core, and then a jazzy wild card to finish, but we'll take it nice and slow and we'll flow our way through. So give yourself another breath here, inhale, and then exhale, release that breath, fab, inhale, come up onto all fours, and walk the knees underneath the hips and the hands underneath the shoulders. So we're just going to take a couple of workout for the shoulders, nice little looseness. So imagine you're drawing, with the shoulder joints themselves, drawing some plate circles. Okay, so start off quite small, and whilst you're doing this, have a look at your fingers. You want that pointer finger to be facing forwards, and see if you can, as you're moving around through the shoulders, try and keep the rest of the body quite stable and still, and just feel that into the wrists. So yes, we're warming up the shoulders, but it is a good way to start to warm up the wrist joint as well, which takes a lot of hammering in our flex class, doing lots of weight bearing on our wrists. So see if you can press down through the fingertips a little bit, through that second knuckle. Okay, well done. Release the hands. Just take the hands into little fists. You can come onto the backs of the hands here. So you're looking to maybe just straighten out the elbows a little bit, but grabbing the hands and balling them into a fist, and then exhaling, just expanding them out. So the wrists are underneath the shoulders still, and we're just flexing and extending through the fingers, just again warming up into the wrist. Whilst you're doing this, have a little think about what's happening in the centre. So drawing in the navel towards the lower part of your back, making sure the hips are over the knees, and you've got a nice long stretch to that back there. Okay, fantastic, well done. Let's replant those hands. Again, press down through the fingertips, and let's flow through a cat-cow. So these two flows, these poses are all about flexing, extending the spine and getting a little bit of blood flowing to that area. So squeezing your tummy. This move's going to start from the pelvis. So think about that anterior and posterior tilt of the pelvis. So lifting the sit bones up. So these sit bones here, lifting them towards the sky, dropping the belly down, letting the gaze lift, and then exhaling, squeezing in through the belly and rounding through the spine. So this has a few different benefits. It starts to get the synovial fluid between the joints moving, and it allows you to focus on the breath and combine it with the movement. So just rippling and rolling through the spine. You can close the eyes, really feel your way into this little flow. Nice work. Really working all the way along through some of the bigger muscle groups in the back, engaging the belly. Also switching on the arms a little bit if you can. See if you can rotate the elbows to the front and squeeze in the upper arms. Nice. Okay, from there, just a couple more. Awesome. Okay, so this knees, chest, chin option, which I'm going to show you, you can employ instead of taking a full plank in our transitions. So we're taking the hands out further forward, knees are down, and then we're going to transfer the weight forward. So the shoulders again are over the wrist once more. So again, squeezing in through the upper arms, and we're going to lower down. Imagine a bit of a zigzag. So stick your bottom up, lowering down through the chest and the chin and the knees. Okay, so we're coming into this position here, knees, chest, chin. You can always readjust a little bit and take the hands further back if you like. Inhale, and then sweep the chest between the upper arms, coming all the way up into your up dog position. So try to avoid hunching through the shoulders, maybe even lifting the knees off the ground, so engaging the quads, lifting the kneecaps there. And then rolling all the way back to downward facing dog. Well done. So lots of knee bend with it being your first down dog. You can stretch the hands away a little bit further, working into the upper body. Again, releasing the shoulders down the back, squeezing the armpits in together. If you want more of a stretch out through the legs, just walk the hands a little bit closer to the toes. Drop the head down, have a little sway from side to side. Nice free movements in your dog just to start off with. Getting used to it being in this semi-inversion. Does become more of a rest pose as you practice more and more, but it can start off being quite challenging. So have a look at the feet, see if you can walk them out to hip distance if they're quite close together. Just give yourself a bit of room through the hips. And then on that next breath in, I want you to gaze towards the thumbs. And to start off, let's just walk the feet towards the thumbs. So finding your way into a halfway lift, maybe taking the hands to the shins, inhale. And exhale, releasing all the way down. Soften those knees as much as you like as we fold down into our floppy forward fold. And again, with it being the first fold, I don't want you to try and take it too far down. I want you to play around with the weight in the feet. So start to move the weight around. I always like to try and make some circles with the hips. So really think about those base feet, big toe, little toe, heel connecting as much as possible, really spreading out through the toes. And then when you're ready, soften those knees to come back to centre, inhaling, rising up full height, reach up nice and tall. If you want to take a little back bend here, try to avoid the shoulders lifting up next to the ears, pressing the hips forwards as you stretch out through the abs and the front body. by contracting the back body and then releasing down, either swan diving down or taking the hands down through heart center like me, planting them underneath the shoulders, stepping back into your high plank once more, taking the weight forwards. Remember that knees, chest, chin option? You can take that as well. Elbows come down, low plank. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, back to down dog. And another little few breaths here just to release into your down dog. So we're going to start our plank sequence. Always fun, always a challenge. This one's no different. Alright, so when you're in your plank, we're going to take knee drives from that plank position. So we don't need to pack the hips up, we want to keep them nice and low. And then on our third little knee drive, we're going to extend into a side plank variation. So think about those transitions. Are you ready? Let's go. Switch on those abs, ripple and roll the weight forwards. Okay, so from here, lift up with the right leg on that inhale. As you exhale, bring the right knee across to the left elbow so you can get it to touch. So you can see how my hips are low and not up in the air, okay? Extend that right leg back. Inhale, bring knee to elbow, good. And extend, one more, inhale. Exhale, knee to elbow. Now from here, what you can do is keep the elbow here and rotate to the side. So you've got that knee drive with the right knee. If you wanted to, you could even extend that right leg, just making sure that this right arm is underneath the right shoulder, and just hold in there for 3. Well done. 2. And 1. Fantastic. Step back, find your plank position, and then lowering down all the way onto your bellies. We're going to have a go at a bow pose. So releasing all the way down, taking both hands out behind you. If you can't reach the feet, you could use a strap, or you could simply hold this sort of variation of back bend known as locust. Or you could just take one side. So you can grab one ankle or foot, make sure that the knee is in line with the hip, and then you can take the arm out in front if you like. Inhale to squeeze the back body, lengthening through the front body, finding strength in the glutes, in the lower back. If you are happy to take both feet into both hands, and you can take a full upward facing bow, enabling the knees to lift at the back, but primarily focusing on that length through the chest. So give me a couple of breaths here. Full steady breath in for 3, 2, nice work, and 1, awesome. All right, take the hands back under the shoulders, press back through plank. Let's take those knee drives on the other side. So inhale, left leg lifts. Exhale, knee to right elbow, across the body, working the obliques. Extend away, inhale, and then exhale, draw in. Last one. Remember, we're going to hold here. So squeeze. You can stay here if you want in that crunch with both hands down, or if you can, let's have a go at lifting up with the right arm, maybe extending that left leg. If you need to put the left leg down again, you can do. Just squeezing and lifting the hips nice and high for 3, for 2, and for 1, back through center. Okay, we're going to have another go at that bow pose. So if you took one single leg last time, this is your opportunity to take that second side. Let's lower down, all the way down, elbows towards the back of the room. So this pose is great for posture as well as developing spinal flexibility. So enjoy that. Taking one single leg, taking a locust pose, or maybe taking this full upward facing bow. If you've got hold of the ankles like me, I always like to flex the feet, but if you've got hold of the feet, no worries at all. You can always take the grip on the inside as well, if that works for you, but that hurts my elbow, so I'm going to stay where I am. Inhale, and lift. So float the heart up, then think about lifting the knees up at the back, if they'll go. So it's quite a strain on the quads as well, which is nice if you've been using your quads recently. Give me a couple of breaths here, well done. For 3, 2, and 1, releasing down. Awesome, taking the hands underneath the shoulders once more, tuck the toes, press back through plank. Right, a little bit of rotation through the spine now. Okay, feel quite nice loosener after that bow. So we're going to take the right foot into the air, inhale. As you exhale, rolling the right hip on top of the left and taking a little tap out behind you on the left side of the mat. And then coming back through center. So it's a scorpion variation. We're bending that right knee as we tap out behind us. Trying to keep the shoulders and the arms strong. One more. Little tap out. And then release. Good. So taking the, you can take this from the forearms if you prefer. I'll show you that on this side. So taking the forearms down, left leg lifts, inhale, bottoms down, exhale, take a little roll over onto the right hip this time, left hip stacking on top, back to centre, back to that strong plank pose. And release. Good work. One more. I don't know why it's called scorpion. Never seen a scorpion doing this. Rolling over. And back through centre we go. Awesome stuff. Well done. We're going to take a twisted plank now, one of my favourites. So we're taking plank. We inhale. You might want to take your feet a little bit wider for this one. As you exhale, we're going to reach back, right hand, and tap onto the left foot. Ripple and roll your way forwards, making sure those abs are fully switched on. Rolling forwards, rolling back. For another 5. And 4, perfect. 3, so working in towards a twisted dog almost. 2, and 1, fantastic. Okay, bringing the feet back in line with the hips, dropping down onto the forearms. Final move of this section, make sure the hips aren't piked, keep them down nice and low. We'll get to those piked hips later on in our dolphin pose. Okay, think about the crown of the head moving forwards on the inhale, and the heels pressing back on the exhale. This is called jacksaw, and it's great for the abs, great for the back, really full core engagement here. Find that breath, control the breath. For 3, 2, we're going to come into balance next. And for 1, well done. Releasing the hands underneath the shoulders. Let's transition, here we go. Low plank. Inhale, up dog, doing really well. Exhale, down dog, stretch it out, release the spine long. Take a couple of breaths here. Just allow the shoulders to slide away down the back. Feel strong in your dog. And making your way towards the front of your mat. You can walk the feet to the hands, or you could take a little hop. Nice long legs and a soft landing. Inhale, halfway lift. Maybe hands come to shins. And exhale, release on down. Fabulous. All right, standing forward fold. We're going to start from here. We're going to take the arms out behind us and interlock. Now, if you find that this is a challenging pose, you can always take another variation of your forward fold. Some people don't like this stretch through the shoulders and the chest, so we're taking an inhale and a slight lift. You can keep a soft bend through the knees if you need to, and then exhale, head drops, arms tumble overhead. And breathe. Enjoy that blood flow to the upper extremities. Just going to hang out here. Just as before at the beginning, we move the weight around in the feet. Just make sure you feel stable here. Press down through the big toe, little toe heel. And feel connected and rooted to the floor. Well done. Give me another 2 breaths. Can we feel that stretch through the arms? Final time, inhale. And exhale, release the arms. Just let them dangle, give them a shake, and the blood flow back to the fingers, soften the knees. Inhale, rise up. And exhale, hands come to heart center. Now we are going to have a go at a challenging balance known as Warrior 3. I'm just going to shift back a little bit on the mat. So make sure you're somewhere near the center of the mat for this one. Take the weight into the left foot. Take a long, tall spine. Engage through center. And when you're ready, hips want to be facing forwards the whole time. We're going to float onto the left foot, see what the balance is like today, and start to release forwards. So imagine the crown of the head is leading one way, and you can either flex the foot at the back, which engages the quad muscles a little bit more, or you can point and enjoy a bit of a workout for the hammies and the calf. This leg has no choice but to stay strong and work out, but if you can, see if you can squeeze the quad, lift the kneecap slightly and engage that left glute. So option to take the arms away from the centre of the chest and take them behind you, or you might even want to take them into a more challenging extension into the front. So if we look at you from the side, you want to look like a capital T shape, so it's a really strong workout for the back body, but also for the abdominals. Take a couple of breaths, and then we're going to move into a dancer pose, with the option of a single or a double bind with the hands. Okay, you ready? Let's see if we can transition. Bend that supporting knee if you need to as we float up high. See if you can take hold of the right foot. Now with dancer, you can take the grip on the outside or on the inside of the foot, your choice. Just making sure that that right knee is in line with the right hip though, and not out to the side. So think about length in this pose. Maybe extend the left arm up, take a breath. And then start to lift the chest, but press the foot into the hand at the back. So we don't want to end up in a position where we're looking down towards the floor, okay? We want to keep some focus in front of us as we press. So it's a little bit of a back bend, but it's great for the quads. If you feel comfortable here, you can always take that left hand as well to that back foot. Really feel that juicy stretch into the front of the shoulders and across the chest. So still working hard on that left standing leg. Well done. Toning and strengthening here. Coming back into she says, crescent lunge. In 3. In 2. And 1. Fantastic. Release that right foot with control to the back of your mat. So think knees and hips in alignment with each other and start to sweep the arms up. Inhale. Exhale, drop down into your crescent lunge. Now you can bring this back knee down if you want to, and you can keep the toes tucked or untucked, or you can stay nice and high. So we're aiming here to lift up through the front body, float the gaze, maybe up a little bit higher than you would, and perhaps find a little bit of a back bend as well. If you think that this left knee is dropping into centre a little bit, have a word and send it into line with the hip. Good. Drop the shoulder blades down the back. Feel that stretch out through the abs. Feel that back quad lifting, engaging. Well done. We're coming to lizard pose next for 3. If you wanted to, you could take the hands together in your crescent lunge. Just be aware that the shoulders might want to hunch at this point. So find one that works for you. Another 2. And 1. Let the hands come down. Squeeze onto the belly to protect the lower back. Take the hands down and heel toe your left foot out so we can bring the left hand on the inside. So we've got our lizard here, our low lizard, so dropping the back foot down, releasing the toes. We're going to take a little twist. Now, some people like to come onto the outside edge of that left foot. That's fine. Taking a release of the left hand out behind you and finding that rotation through the torso. So rather than thinking about bringing the shoulder too far back, think about this move coming from your belly button. I want you to guide your belly button over towards the left-hand side. If you feel that your hips are too high up, then you need to start letting them sink down towards the ground. If it's available to you, what you could do is reach around behind you and take hold of that back foot. And if you're really flexible this morning, you can take the forearm down to the floor and then take your bind on the back foot. So whatever works for you. If you've got really tight quads, this might feel like enough, or just lifting the toe into the air. Let the hips be heavy for another 3. Well done. 2. Gaze can be towards the back foot or down if you're feeling a bit wobbly. And 1. Releasing the left hand down. Heel toe that left foot back into line. And we're just going to have a play around with a half split. So inhale, lift the chest, drop the hips. Exhale, send the hips back. Maybe releasing the toes up towards the ceiling, giving yourself that extra stretch out down the hamstrings. Just check that your hip is in line with the knee, which is in line with the ankle, rather than taking a bit of a twist, which can often happen in this pose, just because of the lack of symmetry. Inhale. Exhale, maybe creep the hands a little bit further forwards, extending heart towards the toes. So we're not rounding through the spine on this one. I want you to find length through the spine. Perfect. For another 3. Nice deep breath. 2. Good morning, hamstrings. And 1. Inhale, rocking the weight forwards from there. And taking hands down to under the shoulders. Step back, down dog. Oh yeah, that feels nice. Let's have a go on the other side. So we've got, starting off with our warrior 3. So let's make our way forward, bend those knees, hop to hands. Inhale, halfway lift. And you can come from this point if you like, or you can rise up full height. So last time we rose up and we seesawed forward from the hips. But if you want that challenge, you can start by taking the right foot down, extending the left leg high, making sure the hips are staying square, and then see if you can float up from there instead. If you're feeling super wobbly today, just take the hands down. If your hands don't reach, grab yourself a cat or a brick or something to extend those arms. So as I said previously, hips are facing down, hips are facing towards the mat, back heel is either pressing away towards the back of the room, or you can point the toes. You could take hands to heart center, hands out behind, or hands out in front is more challenging still. Great for developing strength in the back body as well as focus and concentration, because it's a balance. Breathing in here, well done, for another 3. Nice work. 2, coming up to dancer next. And one, inhale, lift, take the left hand around the left foot, option to take that grip onto the instep of the foot if you like, taking a breath, find height, and when you're ready, exhale, start to press that left knee back, lifting up through the chest, remember, rather than folding forwards. So yes, it's a back bend, but primarily it's a balance and a bit of a stretch out for the front of the hips. If you're feeling super wobbly, try bending that standing leg for a little bit. Keep kicking back, keep reaching, keep lifting. Option to take that second hand around if you want to. You're completely your choice. For another 3. Focus, keep pressing down through those toes. 2. And 1, crescent lunge. Release the left foot back in line with the left hip. Inhale, arms lift. Exhale, down we come. Option to release that back knee down if you want. Bringing the hands together if you like. Lift the heart up to the sky. Full breath in, exhale, sink down. Really working down with the hips on that breath out. Really working into this chest opener, this baby back bend and this leg strengthener. For another 3. 2, got a lizard coming up. And 1, gaze comes forward, hands come down. Taking the right hand on the inside of the right foot, just heel toe the right foot across, and you can drop that back knee down when you're ready. So, taking our twist, maybe rolling onto the outside edge of that right foot as we reach up and over behind you. If you've got a strap or something, that could work around the foot as well if you can't quite reach the foot. But if you're happy to take that little hold behind, just make sure that the hips don't start travelling towards the back of the mat. Hips want to come forwards. So gazing over your right shoulder perhaps, and thinking about rotating round through the spine so that belly button starts to come towards the long right side of the mat. Full breath in, really nice way to release a bit of stress out the hips. Another 2, half splits coming up. And 1, gaze comes forwards, release that back foot, release the right hand, and then heel toe the right foot back in line with the right hip. Here we go, inhale, lift the chest. Exhale, releasing back. Toes can remain down if you want, but I find it much nicer if the toes lift. You can creep the hands forward with every breath out. So finding length. I'm not bothered whether you can get your nose on your knee. I want you to see if you can press the sit bones away and really feel that stretch into the lower back. Nice work. Exhale. Perfect. For another 3. Got a bit of a workout for the shoulders coming up in dolphin next. 2. And 1 before that though. Let's transition. Take the weight forwards, hands plants, tuck the back toes, shoot that right foot back, nice and strong. Readjust your plank if you need to. And let's go. Weight comes forwards, lower down, low plank. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Stretch out in your down dog. Hopefully you're feeling even through both sides now. We're letting the gaze travel towards your toes at the back of your mat and moving around through the hips as you find comfortable. Alright, let's find our forearms. Here we go, dolphin pose. You can take the forearms down with the fingertips facing forwards. I prefer to interlock my hands here. Elbows under the shoulders to start off, walking the toes in. Okay, pressing the heels down towards the ground, so activating the belly here as you lift up through the sit bones, nice and high. Gaze towards the back of the mat, towards the feet. So really good for developing strength in the shoulders, and good for prep for our wild cards that we like to play around with in flex. So see if you can release the shoulder blades away from the ears. See if you can lift up the kneecaps by engaging the quads, and finding length again through the spine. Inhale. And exhale. Well done. 1 more breath. Inhale. And exhale. I lied. Let's take another breath. Find that breath. Make sure you're feeling strong here. Take another breath in. You've got this. Perfect. And exhale. Well done. Take the weight into the hands, finding your down dog, and let's flip it. Let's find a little back bend. Inhale the right foot high. Exhale, bring the heel towards the bum as we roll over. Taking the, it's up to you, you can take the left leg long and step out behind with that bent leg. So finding that lovely arch through the spine, maybe gazing to the right fingers here, breathing into the front body, finding down if you need to. For 3. For 2, coming into a low lunge. So think about that right leg moving forwards between the hands. 2. And 1. Float down with the right hand. Pivot and see if you can bring that right foot forward. You might need to give it a little bit of a hand by taking the hand around the ankle and dropping down into low lunge. So lift up through the chest, drop the hips. Just for a moment, inhale. Exhale. So we're going to have a go at a standing half move. So this is where you might want to grab your brick. We're going to place the right hand in front of the right foot. So tuck in the back toes on that left foot, take a little float. So keeping both hands down to start off with, just practice getting that balance and focus on that lift of the back leg. And when you feel ready, if you feel ready today, you don't have to take this, you can keep this position that I'm in now. Taking the right hand down, maybe popping it onto a brick if you're feeling that your hamstrings haven't got that flexibility. Taking the left hand onto the left hip. So this is going to help us rotate without trying to just reach out through the shoulder too much. So start to stack that left hip on top of the right. Take a breath in. When you feel that you've moved into the correct position, and your left hip is on top of right and your left shoulder is really facing towards the long left side of the mat, extend the arm. Maybe kick up a bit higher with that back leg. Nice. So a really challenging pose for the balance and the coordination, but it's great for developing these things, since you can take these into everyday life as well. If you can focus on these, you can focus on anything. So stretching out, reaching out. We're going to find triangle pose next. For 3. 2, keep reaching and lifting through that top hand. And 1, you might want to take the gaze down first, float the left foot to the back of the mat. See if you can line up so the front heel is intersecting, if you drew a straight line between the feet, into the arch on that back foot. Inhale, float up with the arms. So it's a nice wide stride, this one. We're going to take a reach forward, a slide forwards with the right fingers, encouraging this left hip to go backwards. So as you reach forwards, this is going to give you the space to let this right arm come down and the left arm lift. Now a lot of people in triangle stick the bums out in order to get this hand down to the floor. You can use a brick here if you want. You can pop your right hand onto a brick. I want you to think about pressing the hips forwards and not worrying about that hand coming to the floor. Okay, taking the left arm nice and high. Opening up through the chest as much as you can. Taking a breath here. In. And out. Well done. Keep squeezing in through the belly. So this section around here should be nice and tight, allowing you to lift and hover like this. For another 3. 2. 1. Take the gaze down. Soften the front knee. Windmill the hands forward. Step back. Find your dog. Have a little wiggle out through the hips. And then we're going to make our way to the front of our mat, and we're going to take warrior 3 on the other side. Bend the knees. Float the hips high. Toes to thumbs. Inhale, halfway lift. Now, again, if you want your block, pop it down in front of the left foot this time. Maybe your hand comes onto the brick. Maybe you just want to keep both hands down and start to lift up through that right leg. Catching the balance, making sure you feel strong and grounded through that left foot. Right hand comes to the right hip. Inhale. And exhale, start to rotate. So rotating the hips over towards the right hand side of the mat. Maybe kicking up a bit higher. That might be your challenge for today. Maybe extending the arm. Again, if that works for you. Don't feel that you need to take these options. They're just there for you to have a go at when you feel ready. So just accepting your practice as it is today. Not giving yourself a hard time if you're wobbling around. Well done. Just allow yourself 2 more breaths here in your standing half move before we move back into triangle. Can we activate that top leg a little bit more? 1 more breath, inhale. And exhale, floating with control. Right foot comes to the back of the mat. Heel to inner arch alignment with the feet, adjust if you need to. 2 straight legs, float up with the arms. Inhale here. Exhale, start to reach. Windmill the arms when you're ready. Maybe popping a block underneath your left hand, or maybe taking a hold of your shin. Pressing the hips forwards here. If you feel that this knee's troubling you a little bit, just bring a soft bend into that front knee. Okay, don't feel that you have to lock the knee out. It can be super painful. So lifting and stretching, fingertip away from fingertip. For another 3, feel that core working hard. 2, done. Softening the front knee and taking a big step forwards. Good stuff, well done. Bringing the feet underneath the hips, bend those knees. Inhale, rise up tall. Exhale, floating down through centre. Let's take a little transition. Hands on the shoulders, step back. Find your high plank. Remember that knees, chest, chin that we started with? You could take that if you wish. Lower down, low plank. Elbows in next to the rib cage. Good, working the triceps. Inhale, lift up. Knees can be down, remember, in your upward facing dog. Or you can lift with that engagement to the quads. Exhaling, rolling back into down dog. Okay, let's have a little play round. Make sure you've got area is clear in front of you. You're going to be working into a little hop forwards, a little squat jump, a froggy dog. So you can bring the feet a little bit closer for this one. As you come back with the hips towards the heels, the knees come out wide. As you float forward on the exhale, bringing the feet outside the hands, so in this froggy position. Okay, hop it back, bend the knees, float it forwards. Nice work. Hop it back, bend the knees. See if you can do it in one fell swoop. Get those hips nice and high so you can float the feet. One more. Float it forwards. Awesome. Stay at the front of your mat, turn the heels in, turn the toes out. So you've got that 10 o'clock and 2 o'clock position with the feet. Drop the hips down nice and low and sit up tall through the spine. You might want to grab a brick or a rolled up towel just to support you underneath the hips if you're feeling a little bit wobbly. Bringing the heels down if you can, bringing the elbows on the inside of the knees and finding a longer spine as you possibly can. So taking full deep breaths into the body. Time we're on, good stuff. And releasing the shoulders all the way back. It's a great, lovely core toning pose. Great for the lower body. Also really good for your digestion. Just taking a few more breaths here. Finding a bit of peace and a bit of stillness here for 3. 2, we'll call it the calm before the storm. We've got high boat, low boat coming up, a real ab burner. Actually, boat's very good for toning your kidneys and your stimulating your thyroid as well. Okay, let's release down into your low boat. Bottoms drop to the floor. Okay, in fact, we'll start with high boat first of all. So find those bony bits in the bum. You've got option of bringing the hands around the backs of the legs. So as you lift the feet off the ground, rather than having a nice rolled spine, which is very nice and comfortable, we're looking at lifting up the chest, a bit like somebody's pulling you up by your t-shirt. Okay, so you can keep the hands here and you can extend the legs as much as you're able to if that works for you. You can also release the hands, still keeping that nice long spine. Temptation as you release the hands is to round, but lift it up, finding your variation of your high boat. Inhale, and then exhale. See if you can lower the legs and lower the torso, coming down into this low boat, this sort of dish shape here. Inhale, rise up, high boat, long spine. Exhale, lowering down, low boat, nice. Okay, we've got another 3 sets of these. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, lower down. Got a nice forward fold coming up, little release for the back. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, release down, nice work, one more. Inhale, lift. And exhale, release, good, well done. Coming all the way up, just drawing the knees in towards the chin, make yourself rounded now, round to the spine, chin to chest. And extend those legs out long. So coming into a forward fold, legs extended. And taking, just have to rearrange the shorts, there we go. Finding the sit bones, maybe just walking them back a little bit. If you want the knees to be bent here, that's cool. We're going to take an inhale and an exhale to reach. So imagine you've got that bar in front of your hip, so you're hurdling your belly over the bar. That's going to give you that length through the lower part of the back. Pressing down into the heels, so you're activating the legs. And you can take toe binds, you can take hands around ankles, onto the floor, whatever really works for you. If you find that your forward fold wants a little bit of strap action, you can take the strap around the balls of the feet. That'll just extend the arms for you. So focusing on that length through the spine. So try to avoid hunching the shoulders up next to the ears. Slide them away down the back. Deep inhalation, deep exhalation, really nice. Perfect. Really good stretch this one. Great for battling fatigue if you're suffering a bit tired at the moment. Well done. Feel those hamstrings lengthening. Feel that lower back creating space. For 3, 2, exhale to rise up. All right, a little bit of play around with scales. I am crap at this. It's all about drawing up through the centre and getting a little bit of float off the floor with the bum. Now, it's easier if you bring the knees up a little bit higher. Traditionally, if you can take a full lotus or a half lotus, that allows you to bind the legs and that lift is a little bit easier. If you've got T-Rex syndromes and your arms are quite short, you can do 2 bricks or 2 books either side. That's going to give you that extra arm length, so you can play around with that. Okay, so we're just trying to draw up through what we call the bandhas in yoga. So I want you to squeeze in through that pelvic floor, squeeze in through the belly button, and let's see if we can lift the butt off the floor. So hands are planted, inhale, and start to squeeze and lift. Okay, so just hovering off the floor. If you can get your feet off too, then I take my hat off to you. I can't get the bind through my legs, you see. I think if I could get the bind in my hips in that lotus, then I would be good to go, but unfortunately, for me that is. But hey, where would our yoga practice be if we didn't have things to challenge us? All right, one more breath, inhale, and exhale, come down. Awesome sauce. Take out that left leg, cast it long. We're going to take the right leg all the way over the top, and we're going to see if we can bring the side edge of that right foot, oh my word, my feet are dirty, and bring the right knee so it stacks on top of the left. So this is a half cow face. If you feel comfortable enough to take a full cow face leg, take the other leg underneath. You can always sit on a brick if you feel that you need a bit more space in the hips for this one. So you're on both outside edges of the feet. They're essentially your horns going out towards the side edges. Okay, and I just want you to take the hands to the floor. So taking your tented finger, we're going to inhale, and exhale, start to float forward. So think about your heart moving towards your knee on this one. And I just want you to come as far forward as you feel comfortable. Don't press it too hard. You can always release if you like. And then start to float back down again. And maybe just hold there for 2 breaths. Inhale. Really good one. It helps to really decompress your lower back, this pose. One more breath, inhale. Exhale, nice work. Roll your way up. Untangle yourself from that human knot. Maybe extending the right leg long and taking your half, sometimes called shoelace, half shoelace pose. Okay, taking your, you can always take a fold from this position instead, or if you're happy to take your full cow face legs or your full shoelace, go for it. Inhale. So you should feel this on the outside of the left hip, maybe on the inside of the right hip. So lengthening out here, just coming as far as you feel comfortable. Maybe finding that edge, breathing into it for another 3. And have a little play with our wild cards next. 2. And 1. Fab. Well done. Rolling up from there. All right, extend those legs. Take both feet to the floor. You can take them wide of the mat if you want. Let's just drop them over to one side. Windscreen wiping one way. Inhale. Back to center. Exhale the other way. And again, inhale center. Exhale the other way. Nice work. All right, so we've got Fallen Angel for you today as our wild card. So it's an extension of a side crow. So if you're still working towards your side crow, I'll just quickly go through that as well. And then you can have a look at maybe taking this extension at some point in the future when your practice has developed a little bit. So side crow, we're going to come into a toe stand, feet together, knees together. So imagine you're a mermaid or a merman. Obviously easier for a girl without the tackle between the legs. But squeezing the limbs together can really help consolidate that one sensation that you're going to lift together. So we're going to take the back arm and bring it around towards the front. Now this knee crease here, I always find is a good purchase point to put the elbow in. I'm going to plant out my hands. If I was taking a down dog, fingers want to be spread, and as I move forwards, they're going to be underneath my shoulders. This back elbow, if you can, wants to tuck into the back thigh, and again, make sure the hands are even and that both sets of fingers are spread here. So that in itself might be challenging because the flexibility through the spine isn't quite there. Okay, don't worry about it. It will come over time. We'll keep working into those twists. So take a breath, inhale. Exhale, squeezing in those points that I said before, pelvic floor through the belly, and see if you can float your way into a side crow. Okay, so that would be your first step. Keep working on that. Okay, twist is the first, side crow is your second. If you've got your side crow and you're confident in your side crow, happy days. We'll start working towards this. We've got about a minute to go, so I shall speed up. So from here, in your fallen angel, you're looking to float the side of the head down to the floor, not plonk it down, and I want you to still continue to take lots of weight through the hands so you're not putting any unnecessary pressure on the neck, okay? And then it's going to be the top leg which you start to extend up towards the ceiling. So just in your mind, have a little run through of that and see how it goes. All right, here we go. So we're floating into side crow. We're then bringing the side of the head down. Okay, so you're making shells with the upper arms, and then we're looking at extending that left leg high into the air. So you want it directly over that left hip if you can. Stretching up there. So I'm taking loads of weight through the hands, so my neck is fully supported. And that's fallen angel. So feel free to have a little go on the other side. I'm going to just move down now towards a few stretches in Shavasana, but play around. You can always have a go at the end or pause the video if you're watching this on a rerun. Alright, well done. So relax, back down onto the spine, take the arms wide, have a little rock from side to side through the hips, windscreen wiping the legs. So it is important that you do both sides. I haven't for this video, but that was just for time purposes. Just so you're developing the musculature and the sensory, the nervous system evenly. Okay, well done. Let's take a happy baby. Peace sign fingers around the outside edges of the feet, or maybe even around the big toes. Inhale. As you exhale, draw the knees down towards the earth. Nice flat back. Relax those shoulders for 3. Have a little rock around if you like. 2. And 1. Floating your way into your version of Shavasana. Taking the feet together, the arms out wide, maybe arms overhead. You might want to take the legs long instead. Any variation which feels comfortable for you. If you've got a bolster or a cushion or anything that you want to pop underneath the back of the head, back of the hips. Okay, so breathing in and out here. Nice regular breath. Bringing what you need into the body on the inhale and releasing what you don't on the exhale. So I'm going to encourage you to stay here for as long as you like. Obviously, if you're watching the video, it's a bit boring with me just lying here breathing and trying to find that lovely relaxation through the body. So you stay here as long as you like. I'm going to start to move my way up to seated. Just taking this moment to inhale, draw in what we need, bringing the hands together, and exhaling, hands to the heart centre. So thank you so much for your commitment, and not only to me and to Rise, but also to your own practice. Well done, everyone. Namaste. See you all soon. Thanks, guys. Namaste.